Nice. All right, I guess we're good to go. We have a good amount of people in the audience. Thanks everyone for joining in. Greetings, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you are. This is the Dabba Townhall. So, what is the Dabba Townhall? This is a space for us to talk about updates, what's new with the project, what's new with the community, talk about what's coming up next. As always, if you have questions, make sure to type them in the chat. At the end of the show, we will make sure to go through all the questions, answer them, and yeah. Great to have everyone here, and as always, this session's being recorded. So if you do miss this session, and if you're watching this in a recorded on YouTube, shame on you. You should join in and interact with us. We're all very fun people, and we miss having you on these spaces. So make sure to join in live when we are live. But yes, it is being recorded for those of you who can't make it. So let's jump into it. So what are we talking about today? So our agenda for today is we're going to be talking about some wins over the last couple of months. It's been a very busy couple of months. We've been having our heads down, uh, to the grind, making sure that we've been achieving a whole bunch of targets. We're super excited to share a bunch of these things with you. We have some exciting news on season two. We have some more news on Solana Summit. I think a lot of you guys have been seeing kind of the social posts and the announcements that we've been putting out. And we have a quick announcement on TGE as well. So make sure you stay till the end, and we will be giving directions on how we are going to be going about that as well. So thanks everyone for joining in. Strap in. Make sure to grab yourself a cool beverage and some snacks. We have a lot to go through today. So, starting off for double wins, let's get into a couple of things that have been really important to the network, what has been really important for our growth, and the stuff that we've been up to. So, the first thing is data consumption has been skyrocketing. This comes along with a lot of the new um, a lot of new hotspots that have been going live on the network, the deployments. We've been seeing an amazing trend in data consumption, which is super important for the network. Karam, why don't you tell us why this is so important and why, we're seeing this amazing trend on the network right now with data consumption?
Yeah, for sure. So the reason this is important is because, to be honest, this is the core metric. This is the North Star. This is the only number that really matters on the entire network, which is how much data are people consuming and at what rate they're consuming that data, and how is that going to increase over time? Because all of the tokenomics, the burn on the token, the ultimate usage of the network, everything is built around people using data. So just to look at in the sort of few short leaps that we're making. So a couple of months ago, it took us about 156 days to get to about 1,000 TB. It shortened down to 111. Then it halved to 56, and now it's 30 days. What this means is that basically it's taken less than 30 days to consume 1,000 terabytes of data with barely, I think if you check out the Explorer right now, you might see a little surprise on the side, but we'll come to that in a bit. But in
Wink,
the
wink, nod, nod.
4,000, yeah, in the 4,000 hotspots that you see on the network right now, those are consuming an insane amount of data. And what this means is really in a few short months or maybe a year at most, or hopefully faster than that, there will come a point where the data consumption is so high that it'll balance out whatever supply of tokens that are coming into the system based on tokenomics, and we will hit the equilibrium where data consumption itself is able to soak up and burn the normal supply of tokens. And when that equilibrium happens, everything in tokenomics is going to just skyrocket from that point. But the key here is that one of the trends that we're seeing is really interestingly, when we did our modeling earlier, about a year ago, we assumed that the average hotspot would consume something like 200, 250 gigabytes a month. We're seeing now that within a year already, the average hotspot is consuming something closer to 300 to 350 gigabytes a month. So what we discovered is the faster the internet access you give people, the more data they consume. The more data they consume, the no, the more token burn that we're eventually going to have because all of the tokenomics is based on data consumption. So this metric that you can see that the speed at which data is being consumed and the quantity of which data is being consumed is effectively doubling every couple of months is about the most important thing that you can keep track of. So I would say this is the metric that we're most proud of. This shows us that the network actually works, people actually use the service, people pay for the service, and people are consuming more and more of the service as time goes on. And that's the key thing.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's amazing to see how our data consumption metrics have just jumped drastically over the last couple of months. It just goes to show, when we combine this demand-driven approach, provide a good service to people, they end up using the service more and more. And we can actually, the proof is in the pudding. We can actually see it across the network. So this is super exciting. I can't wait to see what these numbers are going to look like when we hit, the tens of thousands of devices out there, and the amount of consumption and burn and the amount of people that are using the network is just mind blowing even for us to think about sometimes.
And yeah, I just want to throw in the one thing there to give you a sense of context to compare. If you look at any sort of wireless project or any form of delivery, like IoT networks don't really consume that much data. Even mobile offloading doesn't consume as much data. Even Starlink, what it provides will not consume as much data because its bandwidth is limited. You're going to see Dabba over time have the highest amount of data consumption of any project out there. And we think that that's really important.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect example of nice to have versus need to have, right? These are the primary data drivers for people. I mean, imagine how much data you're consuming in your house. That's really, really important. We're seeing that on the network. So, super excited for more data consumption and more customers on the network and seeing this trend just go to the moon. So, next up, we have Islampur, speaking of going to the moon, along with us is Islampur also going to the moon. It has been a very good couple of months with getting Islampur up and running, with the deployments. We have also started, on-ground marketing efforts with Islampur as well. I think Shubs has some exciting stuff to talk about over here, and kind of the progress that has been happening with Islampur. Shubs, would you like to enlighten us with the progress at Islampur?
No, of course. So in the last few weeks, the team, especially the marketing team, has been focusing on the Islampur cluster. So imagine 20 odd small towns with population size anywhere between 10,000 to 100,000 folks in that neighborhood in each of these small towns living around, which we are trying to cover across all of these locations, blanketing them out with the network, essentially making it SIM-less, cellular-less sort of a town where you just roam on the Wi-Fi Dabba network alone. So essentially, team has been spending last week over there to activate the on-ground local marketing as part of our mandate, where we would be on not just onboarding these LCOs, but also helping them onboard the new customers, establishing the brand Dabba network along with the partnership that we are rolling out with our LCO partners. So what you see on the screen right now is one of the largest activation that we have done in the recent week in Islampur, where the local media, the neighboring media has covered a lot about the kind of initiatives that we have brought into the local market, kind of job opportunities that we are creating, not just for the established LCOs, but we are encouraging the local LCOs to come up and partner with us. The new kind of breed that we are sort of bringing along with us, empowering them with new job opportunities, not indirect but directly working with us over here. So that has been talk of the town in Islampur in the last few weeks. And what you see, one of the major Bollywood celebrity endorsing the Dabba project and taking keen interest about how we are uplifting by bringing the connectivity on ground. So it has been very fruitful experience for the entire team, interacting with the locals, interacting with the community, trying to solve how bringing internet can solve for their problems has been a very fruitful experience for all of us over there.
Yeah, I mean, just hearing back from the team and the amount of excitement from end consumers, knowing that there's a service like this in their town, has been great. We're super excited to kind of get some of this content out there to show you guys firsthand what this looks like on ground, speaking to customers, and signing them up for the service. So, the team had a great time in Islampur. There was they had like a raffle for new customers to sign up, different ways for them to engage with us, and it's been a great time. So it's been super exciting for us, getting on ground, marketing on ground, talking to new customers and getting these customers on board. The next thing is the LCO takeover, and again, Shubs has been super hard at work with talking to various LCOs across the country. You guys would have seen some posts over the last couple of weeks about that from Shubs' account. Shubs, again, if you can tell us a little bit more about this and what how this has been affecting the network also.
No, absolutely. Now that our playbook with LCOs is pretty much in place, it's all about scaling going forward. So what you see on the screen is one of the initiatives that we have started where we have these again regional workshops that we invite LCO potential partners over there and run them down through the entire process, why they should be coming along with us and working. And the response with these guys have been phenomenal. So as we speak, we have a good amount of LCOs in the pipeline which are waiting to come on board and start working with us and trying to change their perspective about how future of the network should be rolled out. So this is promising, very promising, both from the partnerships pipeline perspective and the validation that we are getting from these partners on ground about the entire the crypto tokenomics that we have put together, how they are sort of perceiving it. So it's very important that these guys are very bullish about the whole thing, and it is essentially what we envisioned, and now we are seeing this happen in reality. So overall, very promising. We have a good pipeline of partners that we are choosing, handpicking them. We want to be making sure the first set of LCOs that we onboard are, the right set of folks, so that the network sees the best possible launch that we can do over here. So yeah, things are very positive with on this side of things.
That's awesome. I mean, just seeing these LCOs, seeing them get excited about the network and wanting to, come on board, and the value we can offer to them as the Dabba network is super cool. I mean, this again, kind of feeds into the whole, focused on demand, focused on providing a service that is meaningful to people, a product that is meaningful to people, and seeing these LCOs that are going to come on board to really expand the network. 2025 is going to be a great year. It's going to be to the moon on multiple verticals. So that's very, very inspiring to hear. The next win for the Dabba network is to talk about Dabba and Helius. There's a lot to cover over here. Helius is very well known in the Solana ecosystem. I think Rumor has some points to talk about over here. Rumor, why are we so excited about Helius?
Yeah, I mean, the Helios startup launchpad is big for us for a lot of reasons. So, like Helios, like already Don said, is the best in class infrastructure for tooling on Solana. Their tech helps every project, almost every project, scale over here. You've not even realized it. You've probably used a Helios product by doing any on-chain task on Solana, right? They are the fastest growing developer platform in crypto, not just on Solana, overall, all over crypto, which means they are working with every project that is launching on Solana. They are part of like almost every product launch on Solana that are established as well as emerging ones, right? So what that brings us is it's a huge what that brings us is a huge tech support, but also their knowledge, their experience helps us get integrated network with the entire Solana ecosystem. Our product is something which is a mix between hardware and software. It's a very digital product. So this helps us is not just focus on deepen communities to expand, but also the overall Solana ecosystem, which is great because it's a product that reduces barriers and it makes sense for everyone when they learn to know about us. And also, I mean, Helios not just they are part of the DeepIn as well. Like for anyone who does not know, they already power Helium, they power Hive Mapper, Genesis Go, Render. So every DeepIn project that's something that you've heard about is powered on the back end by Helios. So this is tremendously exciting. We have like an 8 month program with them where we work with them to understand, where they help us scale our network, understand the tech side to make us do things faster, integrate with other projects. Actually, the first workshop with them starts next week, so can't wait to get started.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be super important. This is, spreading our roots into the Solana ecosystem, making sure we're deeply entrenched in that ecosystem, and that, yeah, that everything is working and we have the best people working with us as we're on this road to TGE and beyond. So this is an extremely important partnership. We're super happy, to be a part of it. It's going to be great things to come. It's going to help us with a lot of systems and things in process, especially as we get to TGE. Um, Karam, it looked like you wanted to say something about Helios and the partnership and stuff that's going on with Solana.
No, I just wanted to reiterate what Rumor said, which is under the hood, a lot of the projects use Helios and Helios's infrastructure, and we're really excited to that for that because it allows us to streamline a lot of the stuff that we're doing because as we send a lot of transactions and that sort of thing to the network, this is super boring technical stuff, but sometimes there's congestion, sometimes transactions take longer than expected, which kind of screws up other things. So yeah, in the nuts and bolts, gritty bits of things, we're quite excited to have this partnership with Helios because in the back end, this allows us to have a way smoother process using best practices that are validated by everyone. We're not reinventing the wheel in a lot of the stuff, and so that saves us dev time more than anything else.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's partnerships across the board that are really, really important for us, especially as we're working for TGE. Some of these partnerships you don't even realize you don't see it on the front face, but it makes a big difference under the hood. And all of these partnerships are very, very important to us. Yes, so that was a recap of the wins over the last couple of weeks since the last town hall. We're going to be getting into a couple of other things now, talking about season two, the current status. Before we get into that, I'm sure a lot of you guys have noticed there's been some changes to Discord. We're cleaning up a lot of things on Discord, making it more streamlined, adding in more activities. So make sure that you're joining in on those activities. Nick has a really fun game night that's happening every week right now. We're going to start increasing those engagements. You're going to see different programs that you'll be able to be involved in more and more over the coming weeks. We're going to be talking about that more later, but keep an eye out for that on the Discord as well. And make sure to join the Telegram channel. So, our Telegram channel is also live. We see a lot of you guys have joined there. That has also been growing. So, make sure you join the Telegram channel and say hi over there as well. Awesome. So, on to the next bit of super exciting news. And that is season two is selling out and it's selling out
Yeah.
fast. So some of you may have noticed I actually saw it in chat and did not want to bring it up because we're waiting for the big announce. But season two, it's looking like that we will be closing season two very, very soon, and we are super excited about this. This has been, a lot of efforts, a lot of work has gone in to make sure this has happened, a lot of learning, and a lot of trials across a lot of projects and partnerships over the last couple of months. So excited to see that season two we're reaching those goals and targets. I always love having these conversations whenever we set out a target and a goal, and then talking with you guys. Oh, how are we going to do it? It's a very lofty goal, and then actually coming back to you guys and showing you that we've actually achieved those goals. So it is super
Yeah.
exciting to show these things. I wish I had like some pom poms or
Yeah, I
poppies to
feel like we're all kind of traveling,
shoot.
so we didn't get a chance to get little hats and confetti. But like, here's the crazy thing about selling out season two. The goal was to sell roughly 10,000 units by TGE, so that we thought that is a healthy number to have at TGE because that proves you're beyond friends and family and that you actually have purchasing people buying hotspots from everywhere and that sort of thing. But we've blown past that. We're our goal of hitting that in a couple of months actually happened a lot earlier, and we're crazy excited about that. And you can bet anything that our ambitions are a hell of a lot bigger now. and this network is going to grow faster and bigger than even we originally anticipated. But yeah, we will have more exciting pictures and things put up that convey enthusiasm. But I cannot stress how this important this is because look, it took us almost a year to sell season one, maybe about 6 months or so, and that was 1,000 units. Season two was 10x that, which is 10,000 units, and that happened in a short couple of months. And when you see finally when updated graphs go live, and they will go live, you'll see the ramp up from mid-November-ish to now, the way the hotspots have just been selling like crazy. So the speed at which people are participating is increasing dramatically, and we see this as a trend continuing forward. Yeah, this is going to be huge. This is the start of something quite special.
Exactly. I mean, this kind of goes to show that now we have this habit of setting up these massive dominoes and toppling them over very successfully over time. I think we've set out very lofty goals over the last 2 years. Since we started engaging with the community, since we started building this out in public, and we've been consistently reaching those goals over time. There might have been some delays, there might have been some figuring out on certain things, but we eventually get there, and we do a pretty good job of getting there. So it's a great accomplishment for the entire team. This is something all of us have been working towards, and it has been very, very exciting. So, what does this mean for season two? I think someone asked a question in chat, like, how did it suddenly jump to like 10,000? How did we reach that number so fast? So, we've been doubling down on the layer zero concept, and a lot of you know about this concept. You understand, you would have seen Karam's talk at Breakpoint last year. That's kind of where we kicked this off. And this has been an amazing concept that everyone has been really excited about. And just to give you a brief of the concept, or maybe Karam, if you want to give a very short 2 minute of what layer zero generally means and why this is so important.
Yeah, so the super quick version. Okay, so we sort of came up with this term of a layer zero deepen to give better context to where deepen projects fit and how they relate to each other and sort of where they fit in the world. So layer two would be something like software-based deepen, right? Where you install an app on your phone or your computer, and maybe it shares some of the resources and the hardware that has. So the last good example of this was Silencio, right? Where you install it and it uses your phone's mic to help get things. Layer one would be something along the lines of HiveMapper or Helium. Like say HiveMapper, cool, you buy a HiveMapper B, but you need to have a car to plug that into. We sort of see it as hardware that requires other hardware or other infrastructure and brings more value to that. You've already got a car, you plonk in your HiveMapper, yay, you can help contribute to mapping and earn some tokens and that sort of thing. Right below that is sort of layer zero, which is where we see ourselves, which is the foundational layer where you're building out infrastructure where the infrastructure doesn't exist at all. So we're doing net new internet connections where there is no broadband network, right? We're doing the physical effort of laying that fiber optical cable to the customer's house, getting them a router, and that sort of thing. So we see layer zero as incredibly important because what we have found is that everything else sits on top of that. So if you eventually want to launch another deep end project like a Hive Mapper or like a Helium or like a WeatherXN, all of these projects you will find need connectivity first, and then they can do what they want to do. So we see Layer Zero as an incredibly powerful platform that allows for other projects to build on top of over time. So that's the short version of Layer. And to cap that thought off, where you'll see layer zero is mostly in emerging markets, places like India, Africa, South America, bits of Indonesia, and that sort of thing, because that's where new basic infrastructure is going to get built out. And why layer zero really, really matters, and it's a good idea and a good thing to be part of, is number one, is it's long lived. If you lay down the connectivity network first when there is no connectivity network, that's going to be there for the next 100 years. Second is, as I mentioned, you're serving as a platform on top of which other things will be built on. So you will accrue all the value that everyone else builds will accrue to the layer below that. And the last bit of it is that there's a little bit of friction in the startup time till the network sort of breaks even, which is usually like, a couple of years, that sort of thing. But once that happens, for the next 100 years, it is long lasting and will be immensely fruitful. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
a quick overview of how we see the world.
nice, yes, and this is going to be extremely, extremely important for the network, the growth of the network, adding more utility to the network for you as, hotspot owners as well, and ways for you to interact with the network. What this meant for us for season two is we have recently gotten an enterprise deal, which we will be giving more details with over time. And this will also open the floodgates for more international projects to come to India and leverage the Dabba network. I know Shubs has been really hard at work at this and kind of building out these relationships and these partnerships. Shubs, is there anything you want to some alpha that you want to drop on the community about this as we're moving forward, or are we keeping it hush hush for the moment?
I think you are planning for the next week thing. Let's announce it on then. Till then, I think what we can disclose is deals have been signed, units have been sold, money has been done, so all things are in place. Sales number has been updated, and that's why we are closing season two very soon. So that's where we are. Yeah.
Awesome. Yes, the good stuff is in place. We don't want to drop everything in one town hall. We want to make sure we spread the goodness across time. So we will talk more about this in the next town hall for sure. This also means that we will be having an enterprise site that will be going up very soon to capture interest from other projects as well. So you'll see that going live in the next couple of days as well. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. Now, what does this mean for season two coming to a close? Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to keep sales open for the next 1 week. So up till the 28th, sales will be open. Even if we cross 10,000 a little bit, that's perfectly fine. We want to make sure that everyone has equal opportunity to, purchase their hotspots. There's only a handful of hotspots left. Make sure you check the Explorer now. I already see people in chat saying I'm going to get mine right now, so I'm sure that number is ticking upwards, and I can even see, some purchases happening. So that's great to see. But keep in mind that the season two sale will close on the 28th, so you have another 7 days to grab your units while you can. That's very important to keep in mind. Now, the next thing that is important over here is we are updating our refund policy. So what that means is moving forward, there will be a 7-day refund policy on devices. So when you purchase a device, you will have 7 days to claim your refund. Now we'll be having these details all go up on our site very very soon, and we'll be announcing that very soon with all those details for you to go through. What this means for season one and season two holders, we're also giving you the next 7 days up till the 28th if you do want to request for a refund for any reason. I don't understand why, especially after all the amazing news we just gave you and the great growth that we've been having so far. But if you do want a refund, please do reach out to us. You have the next 7 days to claim that. Shubs has gone ahead and shared the refund policy details in chat, so you can check that out as well.
Yeah, but
But
wait,
yeah,
I want to explain the philosophy
Yeah,
behind this.
yeah.
Like, why we highlight, oh, you want to do this or should I? Well, okay, I'll do a quick
Go
intro and
for
then you jump into details.
yeah, yeah. Go for it.
So earlier
I'm gonna
on,
get
we
some
had
water.
an
Sorry.
open earlier on we had an open-ended refund policy because the project was still new, it was still a little uncertain. Were we going to be able to sell hotspots? Were we going to be able to sign up LCOs? Were people actually going to consume data? Would we actually be able to get revenue from end customers? Are there regulatory issues? All of these sorts of things. So we never wanted a situation where someone felt like we would be rugging them or anything like that. So we always had an open refund policy where at any given moment, if you felt that you no longer believed in the project or you needed the money or a million other things, we would refund you. Now we believe that having hit season two's numbers, looking at our roadmap ahead, knowing that we've got a great deal of growth, already having thousands of units in the field, we are confident in our model, and we believe that if people want to participate, they should be confident as well. So we're simplifying our refund policy now to say that okay, if anyone missed out on the news or sort of bought hotspots and fell asleep on the project and they woke up and they'd like a refund, cool. You have till the end of Feb to do that. But going forward, it will be a 7 day sort of period since you bought from the time you buy your hotspot because we think that's fair. Basically, you should look at this new refund policy as a vote of confidence from our side, where we believe that yes, now we are on solid ground and this is going to be something. So yeah, shoots.
I think you summed it pretty well. That's the thought behind updating this policy. As we are rolling out, we are investing a lot of time, capital, and effort with these LCO partners where we activate the connections, and these connections are going live as we speak. So we don't want to be in a situation where the device has already been deployed, and for some reason somebody waking up and saying that they need liquidity and coming back immediately next time and asking for a refund. So that's something not good for the project overall. So we need that clarity that people who are participating are coming in with us for a long haul over here, and when we are activating the network, or rather already activated network, the refund needs to be on a on a respected terms. Said that, season one, season two, folks would be getting email reminders, every possible sort of reminders starting probably tonight or tomorrow. Don and team would be taking care of that, reminding everyone whether these are the updated policy and this is where we are headed. And essentially, they'll have a window of 7 days to claim those refunds if they choose to do so. And I think that's where we are and where we headed. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, great points. I mean, this kind of goes to show again, back to demand side, right? We have consumers on the network. We want to make sure that, the network is in a healthy position and that we're building out this service that with good utility and everyone can use and everyone's happy with. So, important updates over here. So, make sure to get in your hotspots before the end of the week. You have till the 28th. This also means that referrals will be closing. So, as most of you know, that you have a referral with your account, you get a 6% referral bonus if you refer a friend and sell some hotspots. That will be closing with season two because this referral is only for season two. So make sure you get on that. You only have a week left to do this. And yes, if you have any questions, reach out to us. We have Rumor and Nick on the Discord to help you at any point in time. Nick is so close to his camera, it feels like he's looking into my soul right now. But yes, you're going to see a lot of great things happening over the next couple of months, especially as we're working towards TGE. We've already seen a massive growth across, our socials, our community, the number of sales. We are growing on all fronts and we are game on for TGE right now. So make sure you keep these things in mind for the next 7 days, and we will have more announcements coming soon. The next thing I want to get into right after that, and before I get into Solana Summit, is there anything else I'm missing about season two closing? Just want to make sure I covered everything.
No, I think we're good. I just want to bask in the glory of 5 seconds to take it in, to be like, yes, we made it. It was a big goal. We thought it was going to take longer, but we've blown past that. And I just want to enjoy this
Make sure
half
that,
a second. Yeah,
yeah,
because
I
it's
think,
quite a thing to take a leap from like 1,000 units to 10,000 units. I think that's pretty good. And, we're just at the beginning. So, yeah, just
yeah,
want to enjoy
I
this
mean,
moment.
just looking back at early conversations from 2 years ago, right? And just
Mhm.
the conversations of, oh, 1,000 units, how do we get 1,000 units? How do we build a community? How do we explain this? How do we explain that? You know, and then, solving that. And then from season one saying, hey, let's be ambitious again and let's 10x that goal and go from 1,000 to 10,000 and working through those notions. So, I mean, I've seen across the board every member from the team literally improving also 10x in the things that we're all capable of just to be able to meet these goals as well. So it has been a wild ride, especially over the last year. But just like Karam said, it is a breath of relief on one side, but also like, okay, now what's the next step? Now, it's on to 100K, right? How do we get to 100K from here? We need to really expand the network. Nice. Okay. So, with season two coming to a close and on our road to TGE, I think you guys would have seen this announcement on socials. It has been very, very important to us, and something that we're very, very excited about, and that is the Solana Summit. Now, for some of you who don't know, Solana Summit is a international property for Solana that brings Solana projects together. The objective is to have a combination of, developers, capital, and community, bring them all together in one space and, get them to mingle. Now, the great thing about this is Solana Summit, this is the first time that Solana is doing a dedicated Deepin and hardware event, and we're doing it in our own backyard in India, right? So even though it's an Indian event, even though it's happening in Bangalore, it's still a global event. You're going to be seeing projects from around the world coming and participating in this. There is going to be a startup village for new projects to build and demo their projects at the actual event. And we're going to have a lot happening as we lead up to the event. So there's going to be more announcements coming soon. This is an open event, but with limited capacity. So if you have not joined in yet, if you have plans to visit India, make sure you do. We have a lot of exciting things that we're planning on doing for this event to engage with the community and, to show Dabba's impact, not just in the Solana ecosystem, but in India, in Bangalore,
Mm.
and as we grow.
Yeah, I think like maybe Shubes, it's worth saying a couple of things about this of why we care about this hardware event and why we care about a deepen event in India. I mean, setting the context like for India and locals and policy people who will come and devs and that sort of thing. So, do you want to talk a little bit about why we have put in like Don and Shubes and other people in the team have been working on this for a month already, and there's way more work to go. And there was a lot of discussion in our office at the beginning of, guys, why are we doing an event? We're not in the events business. What is the point of this and
And
all
when
of
we have
that?
TGE
And I
around the
think
corner.
yeah, we've got TGE coming up. I mean, like, really, what are we trying to do here? But I think Shubes ultimately had some very sort of clear ideas of why this is important to lay this stake in India and sort of thing. So I think, Shubes, if you can say why you think this is important, that would be good.
I think India is in a time that we are living in a time where India is one of the largest economy, fastest growing economy, right? And Deepen solves a lot of challenges when it comes to building infrastructure, right? Deepen has a lot of answers and insights around how a country like India, such a diverse country, can solve for its infrastructure requirement. And answer somewhere lies in the Deepen. So for that, if we have to explore that, go down that route, we need to have this ecosystem that needs to mature in this country, right? The deep in ecosystem. And what better could be an opportunity to partner with Solana Foundation, and bring the minds across the world to our city of Bangalore in India, and spend a day diving deep into why some of these projects world over that are establishing themselves should be looking India as a next opportunity for themselves to expand, and why Beacon is a solution for growing, the economy such as India, every, growing economy. So with those thoughts, initial thoughts, Don has put together a phenomenal, work so far, wherein he's been able to attract the right sort of people across the board, which is this foundation, going to the super team, getting them involved, getting the right sort of capital partners to put in the capital over here, and of course, getting the right projects over here who will be spending a day in Bangalore to brainstorm around how all these projects can come together, can be deployed on top of the Dabba network, and how we can solve for real usage for real people, and growing that demand for these projects. So I think it's going to be a phenomenal summit the way it has been shaping up. I've been monitoring it closely, the kind of programming Don and team has put together. It's going to be an awesome day given the fact that this is going to be a very theme specific, which is deep end coming along with Solana, they getting putting their force behind. I think this event should. I won't be surprised this event becomes a global movement within the Solana ecosystem. So let's see how the first version of this event goes, and we will be very proud of ourselves.
Yeah, I mean it's been it still is a lot of work in the making. There still is a lot of things to do, but make sure to check out the event details. I think we have an announcement in our announcement channel that links you to various things. If you're interested in speaking at the event, if you want to come down, if you want to book a ticket, there's a whole bunch of links over there for you to participate. So make sure you do that in the interest form if you're filling it in. Say that you're from the Dabba network. That's perfectly fine, and we will find places to accommodate everyone in the programming itself. If you want to get involved. So if you're planning on coming down to the event in India, it's on the 25th of March. There's going to be more details to come out over the coming weeks. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be an exciting time. On to the next one. All right. So talking about TGE and the question that's on everyone's minds, we have exciting announcements about TGE. We are on the path to TGE. There's a lot of exciting partnerships and things that we'd like to talk about. What are the different goals, the objectives we have as we lead to TGE? And we're going to be talking about all of those things in our next town hall, which is going to be next week. We don't want to combine all of this information into one town hall, it's too much to cover. So, in next town hall, that is on the 28th, we will be having another town hall where we're going to be getting into this in detail, talking about what is our path, how you can participate to make this happen, and what is our roadmap, right, for the next couple of months for TGA and beyond. That's going to be super important. We're in the end game now. All systems are a go. We're super excited about the months ahead. I think, just like Karam and Shub said, we have validated things across the board, from different processes to sales to marketing to all the things we need to make this happen. And we're going to be diving into that in more detail in the next town hall. So make sure you mark your calendars, join in for that town hall as we get into this more in detail. But yes, the super excited to break this down with the community and finally have this discussion with you guys and to get into those details as well. So yes, before we get into questions, uh, Shubs, Karam, any closing remarks, anything that you feel that we haven't touched on or that we should be talking about before we get into the community questions?
No,
No,
I think we're good.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm good.
No, I was saying, like, yeah, super proud of everyone at Dabba team for accomplishing the season two well before the timeline that we had put for ourselves. So, yeah, very happy and very excited and proud. Yeah.
Nice. Yes, it has been a long time coming, and we can finally see, a lot of these things coming together, and it's been super exciting. So now the questions. So I'm going to run through questions right now. Guys, if you have a question, because, the chat is pretty long, if you asked it before and you want us to read it out, just repeat that question over here so that we can answer them for you. We'll start getting into all questions. So first question is, when can you buy again if you don't buy by next week? Ooh, interesting. So if you don't buy before the 20th, what
Ooh,
happens? That's an interesting
interesting
question.
question. You're gonna have to wait and see because we're not done. Um, I'm gonna leave it at that. It's
To find out,
yeah.
join on 28th
To
of
find
Feb,
out,
the
join on
next
the
town hall.
28th. Yes, there's going to be a giant focus on the TGE, but there might be other things as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we're never going to stop selling hotspots, that's for sure. So, but just like Shub says, I'm going to keep my lips sealed. But we will talk more about this on the 28th. How can you participate in the Dabba network? There's going to be a lot of exciting things over there. I wish I can say more, but I'm not going to. We will talk about it more in next week's town hall. OD615 says, any opportunities to partner with BPOs and other large India companies for large enterprise data contracts for work from home remote workforces. Ooh, interesting. Shubs, I'm
Oh,
curious to
I'll do
hear your
you
thoughts on
one better, my friend.
that. Okay.
Um, so, yeah, great question. Excellent line of thought. Um, I think there are two parts of it that you'd want to think about in that. The first is given the amount of data that we're going to be pushing through this network, and as a slight tangent idea, if you've heard of the Double Zero project, I would urge you to look into that. And the final piece of that puzzle I would look into, there are not enough data centers in India.
We
So I think
cannot
you're
disclose
thinking
things which are still cooking.
there's nothing to disclose, but like, there's this is a good line of thinking. There are
No, fair
massive,
enough.
large enterprise data contracts and other things that we're looking at. It's just going to take a tiny bit more time to build out that infra because it's slightly different than what we're doing, but it hook you need to have what we're doing in order to deliver those things. But yeah, I just wanted to jump in here because I love the question. And just please know that there is a roadmap for this stuff over the next 12 months.
Yeah, layer zero between double zero and layer one. Yeah, sounds fine.
It's the even lower layer. What came first, zero or zero zero?
Find out.
Nice. Okay. Um, Ravi Teja says, "Hey, I would like to interact with Dabba team to discuss about utilization of Dabba network infra in Andhra Pradesh. Yes, if you would like to reach out to us, please raise a ticket in the Discord. Let us know what your question is. We would definitely like to talk to you. We're if you're an LCO, we would love to talk to you. I'm sure Shubs, maybe you have something to say on those lines."
No, of course. Raise a ticket. Nick or Rumor would be responding, and we will take it from there.
Awesome, awesome. Nick asks, if you find a scam call center using your network, will you shut them off?
Of course, yeah. Anything illegal is not allowed on the Dabba network. We are very serious about data privacy,
KYC
and
and
yeah,
everything
yeah.
else.
So
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like the it's hilarious. At some point, we will do a legal clinic because I think it would be helpful for other deepen projects as well to give you a sense of the kind of regulatory framework that we operate under and the compliances that we have. Um, like the not for nothing, but US regulation is way lower in this context than Indian regulation. The amount of things that we comply to in India is just insane. Part of the reason it's taken this long to get this far is simply just making sure that, yes, we don't have scams, we don't have unknown users, we have KYC, we have anti AML, we have a whole bunch of things. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean we're building a network not to last for a couple months but for the next decade. So we want to make sure that we're doing it right, we're following all the right processes and working with the right
100
people.
years, thank you very much.
100 years, okay, for the next couple of centuries for sure. Nice. Okay. Let's see. Buckup has a tangent idea, but maybe could integrate bit axes into the Dabba Pro. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe Buckup, if you can elaborate on what that means, and we will get
It's a
into
it's a
that.
Bitcoin miner. It's a deep yeah, it's a Bitcoin mining device. It's called a BitAxe. I think that's what he's referring to.
Ah, will we have a Bitcoin miner on the Dabba Pro?
Let's just say that way back 2 years ago, we talked a lot about multi-mining. I think you're going to hear a lot more about multi-mining from us in the coming months. So, excellent line of thought. Please know that it's been on our roadmap and we will have more concrete things to say about it fairly soon.
Yeah, I think in terms of Dabba Pro and other products, we'll be talking more about it, later in the year. But there's definitely some exciting stuff to talk about. The hardware developers have been working on the other products as well, but the focus right now is, the Dabba network, TGE, and getting out there. I think that's first step right now. Da, 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 da. Trefla asks, the price of hotspot is going to increase. Will the price of hotspots increase?
To find out, join us on 28th of February.
We're all about affordable access. I'll leave it at that.
Yes, so we'll talk more about this in the next town hall and talk about what you can expect since season 2 is closing. Now that season 2 is closed, what happens next? We'll talk more about that for sure. Makenback has a question for Rumor. Hey, is onboarding just first come first serve, or will there be some modifications for site selection? I think
Oh
we
wait, let me jump on this
yeah.
one because Rumor and I were talking about this earlier on Slack. So if you were part of season one and partially part of the early bits of season two, a lot of people had the option of selecting their exact location then. So if you selected your exact location then, we will honor those locations. Going forward as well, once you're able to onboard your hotspot and go through the onboarding process after TGE, you will have the ability to select your location. There is a tiny bit of first come, first serve there, which will be clearer in a couple of weeks to you when we do a demo of exactly what the onboarding process on the new dashboard and stuff looks like. But yeah, if you have selected your location already, we will honor that. There's a tiny element of first come, first serve later, but that plays in later to during the onboarding after TG.
Nice. We have a question from JM. Guys, also, we're going to be wrapping up in another, say, 3 to 5 minutes. So we're going to answer as many questions as we can in that time. If we can't get your question, please do ask it in, the Discord channels. You have Nick and Rumor who will answer your questions after that, but I'll make sure to get through as many as we can within the next couple of minutes. So JM asks, taking a long-term view, do you foresee expansion beyond India? I have to imagine neighboring countries, Bangladesh in particular, comes to mind, would benefit from this service or one like it.
Oh, I thought
Either,
Shubes was going to take that.
Ah, sure. No, no, absolutely. India as a market has a big opportunity itself, right? So as we go down the route, we as a company see ourselves rolling out enough hotspots in the next decade, if not more, in India itself. We are talking about sitting at roughly around 35 million hotspots put across every service provider in this country in comparison to somebody like China, which are with a similar population base of sitting at around 650 million broadband connections. So the gap is more than 20x. So the opportunity itself in India is so huge that if we put out every possible effort that we can, India is a big market. Said that as the DAO forms up, as the foundation rolls out the DAO, Dabba DAO, and DAO would eventually decide which markets it wants to pursue. So to answer the question, we have our laser focus on the India market. It's a growing market, and how the expansion will happen is something DAO to decide for.
nice. Going through questions, guys. Again, just a couple of more minutes of questions. Maybe another 2 minutes we'll give for questions to wrap it up. Da, 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 da. Has device hardware specs been released for the hotspots and are they upgradable? Adding HD space.
Yeah, so device specs for the hotspot are available. They're Wi-Fi 6 access points. They do have the ability to add HD space and maybe a couple of other things. We'll have more stuff to say about this in the future, simply because right now, at least for the couple of thousand units that are already in the field, they've been different generations of devices because we've been testing out different things that have worked well in different markets and different suppliers and that sort of thing. It'll be infinitely more standardized in their capacity and ability now going forward. But suffice to say, right now, Wi-Fi 6 access point, yes, expandable a little bit, but more details on those exact specs coming soon as we talk about what we're going to do with multi-mining and other things along those lines.
Yes. Nice. Vam had a question about how did we jump from uh how do we jump from so many units being sold? Vam, I think maybe you might have came in a little late, but we talked about this earlier with an enterprise purchase. The recording will go live in a couple of in about 48 hours. So we'll you can check that out. But basically, we are having a lot of interest from enterprise buyers. We will have more announcements coming out about that in the next coming weeks and talking more about that. Dub, dub, dub.
I think
Yes,
Nick
so
had an interesting question. Sorry, Don. Just jumping onto it. I think it'll be a good one
sure.
to take. What happens after 7 years? Do we have to rebuy our hotspots? So the way we think is 7 years is the period where the hardware life is what we would see as of, right? So after 7 years, one would be repaying the onboarding fees, not the hardware fees, but the onboarding fees in order to extend the contract for by another whatever the things timelines that we come up with, or rather DAO comes by that time. DAO should be in place. So onboarding fees is something that you will be required to repay because you will have to spend the LC would have to spend again that sort of money in order to upgrade that infrastructure. So that is what one would be expected. So hardware purchase is one time, which is 199 for season two, and $100 the onboarding fees is to be repaid after the 7 years, adding the inflation price after 7 years sort of a pricing. So that's how it is going to be.
Nice. Azukar asked, has onboarding started for season two holders? No, Azukar. So onboarding will happen closer to after our TGE. You can check out our FAQ section. We've kind of outlined a bunch of details over there, what this onboarding process will look like. The onboarding process will only happen after TGE. So it won't happen yet. It'll happen only after TGE. Um, Last question I will bring up is from Minera Minera at work. Okay. Is there an option in the future for BYOD to this network? So
Mine
bring
are
your own
at work.
device.
Mine are at work.
Minor at work. I'm sorry. Okay, it's been a long hour and a long day. Okay. My brain is not working as it should be. Yes. So, will there ever be an option for bring your own device to the network?
Uh, it's a difficult one. So it's not that we don't want to do it. We just don't have a great way right now to be absolutely honest with regard to customs and quality of hardware and shipping costs. So cool. If it's a bring your own device, you can ship us a device, but then we have to ship it to the LCO, and there's a whole bunch of logistics over there. Okay, Shubs has many things to say. Sorry, do you want to take that one or
No, no, go
basically?
for it. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to do bring your own device, but right now the logistics of it on an individual level don't make sense. We're working on it. Should we have a good answer, we will, let you know.
I just want to add that BOID makes sense once we open up self-deployment model, where we
Hmm.
make the whole thing like
Yeah.
anybody can deploy anywhere around the globe, right? If we are going down that whenever that time comes, I think we will be certainly looking BYOD concept as a possibility on our network. Till the time this is a self-managed, I mean the managed model, deployment model, the device manage bring your own device doesn't make any sense on to maintain the quality of service of the network.
Exactly.
Hmm. It'll get
Exactly. I
there
mean,
at
then
some
we would
point.
have to. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah, sorry, please go on.
No, I was saying then we would have to make it SYOD, send your own device, with the
Hmm.
managed deployment model. So that's not really on the books right now, but yeah, interesting. A very interesting thing to look into. Sorry,
So
Karamir,
I
what were
say
you
we
gonna say?
Velvet Doctor, the last question, and then
Wrap
we
it up.
call
Yes.
it.
So, what after season two? Will we still be going with seasons concept, or will it be open ended without a limit? Stay tuned for next week. As
Excellent question.
Shub says,
Yeah.
going was just about to
I
say.
would have said I would have said join us on 28, but I don't want to repeat myself for the 10th time. But this is
That's
a
why I
very
picked
nice
it as the
question.
last
Yeah.
question. Yeah.
Nice.
So I suggest Velvet Doctor 28th is the date you will find the answer to this question. Said that it's going to be an interesting thing that we are coming up with that should excite everyone who has been supporting us and get new people onboarded. So again, 28th is the date you'll get your answer on this one. Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you all for joining in. I know there are some questions we couldn't have gotten into. There is, this is a 1 hour session. I think we've all gone through quite a bit. We do have another town hall next week, same time, same place. Come, bring your friends. We have a lot of exciting announcements to get into over there. If we haven't answered your questions, please do raise it. You can ask it on the Discord forum, raise a ticket, or you can book a call with the team. We'd be more than happy. We'd be more than happy to answer those questions for you. I'm seeing the chat right now. But yes, thank you guys so much for joining in. As always, within the next 48 hours, we will have the recording of this session go live with a summary. And yes, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We have exciting weeks and months ahead, and many more announcements and good things to talk about. Thanks everyone here for joining in. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Stay happy, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.